When you think of celebrities, what is your first thought?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Me too. But seriously, when you think of a celebrity, your first thought might be, where have I seen them before? Because celebrities aren't just limited to one area of entertainment. They can pop up in films, television shows, music videos, podcasts, and even video games. And celebrities have been involved in video games for longer than you might think. From Vin Diesel's The Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay in 2004, to John Cena and J.K. Simmons featured in 2023's Mortal Kombat 1. Although one can argue that this trend has gotten a little out of hand in recent years.
Playtime is over when Nikki drops in.
What the hell is that?
For you see, nowadays most of the major AAA game publishers see celebrities and famous fictional characters as a way of attracting new players if they put them in their most popular franchises. Which is part of the reason why Call of Duty has become so bloody intolerable and a far cry from the realism it now eschews, because that's not relevant to the times. Now, I'm not opposed to the practice of having a celebrity appear in a video game so long as A, the celebrity involved is a natural fit for the game they're appearing in, B, they put effort and dedication into their performance, and C, they care about the game's fandom and relevant subject matter. When I think of a celebrity that ticks all three boxes, my first thought is either Keanu Reeves as Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk 2077,
Wait the fuck up, samurai.
or Mark Hamill as the Joker in the Batman Arkham series.
But you of all people should know, there's plenty wrong with me.
I don't think of a rapper whose music is divisive to say the least, and whose only connection to cars is the fact that he appeared in the best-selling racing game franchise of all time's latest outing.
Oh shit, here we go again.
For those of you who haven't watched my previous video, to which there is a link in the description, a quick summary. Need for Speed Unbound, the 25th installment in the extremely successful Need for Speed series, has a terrible story with unlikable characters, a weak plot, and dialogue that made me want to vomit up my breakfast. And I haven't had any today. This isn't so much a part 2, rather a spin-off section that I was planning on including in the previous video, but decided to turn into its own thing. For Need for Speed Unbound features in a guest role American rapper A$AP Rocky, who appeared in the launch trailer as well as a promotional video with the game's cover car, a customised and tailored Mercedes 190E. So why is it that he doesn't turn up much in the game? In this video, I want to ask 3 questions. Why did Need for Speed ask for him to appear? What does he do in the game? And was his appearance worth it? Spoiler alert, nothing really, and no, not at all. Need for Speed Unbound is not the first Need for Speed game to have a celebrity appearance. Rewind back to 2008 and Need for Speed Undercover featured Mission Impossible 3 and Die Hard 4 co-star Maggie Q in a main role. Need for Speed The Run, meanwhile, had Mad Men star Christina Hendricks feature as a fixer for lead character Jack Rourke. Oh, and Need for Speed 2015 had Ken Block and Magnus Walker appear as 2 of the game's 5 main icons. Keep that in mind. So, celebrities appearing in a Need for Speed game isn't exactly new territory. But I have to ask, why A$AP Rocky? I have nothing against him, I'm not a fan or a hater, I'm simply aware he exists and I know he is quite popular. After skimming through the Wikipedia article on him, I was left thinking, okay. Rocky, and I'm calling him that from now on, first appears during a cutscene introducing a new event type called Takeovers. Now, these events are generally quite good fun, not gonna lie. Before and after you compete, Rocky will climb on top of his Mercedes and say the following.
Check it out, listen up. Next up is the test to see who's the best. Let's see who got the whole city on lock. Rev up, gear up, burn out, let's go!
And after you've completed the event, he'll say something like this.
Yo, that shit was tight. You did your thing out there.
Thanks, mate. I think there are 4 or 5 variations of this, but I honestly can't be asked to find out for myself. This is all we see of him until week 3, Thursday night. After spawning from the garage, Rocky calls us and asks if we want to take his Mercedes out for a spin. So off we go to do that.
Show me what you got.
I will.
Man, I can't believe this is happening.
I mean, I can. It was in the marketing. Alright, let's see what's going on here.
I'm not gonna lie. It's not every day you're sitting next to ASAP.
Why are you nervous, mate? There's no reason for you to be nervous.
People don't get to know that I'm human just like
Yeah, we kind of know that.
I go through struggles just like them. I go through frustrations.
Yes, all humans go through struggles.
As far as my accolades and accomplishments go, it wasn't easy.
Sorry, is this supposed to be like an interview or something? Like,
I'm just as normal as everyone else when it comes.
Yes,
to
I know you're normal. You've just said that. Wait.
You kind of don't bleed or
no.
Or shit.
Oh my god, can you talk faster, please, mate?
It's more so just making it. Just
seriously, was this an interview that they've just stitched together for this game? Like, can you talk about the car, mate? The car that was custom made for you? Like, I want to know. Yeah, horsepower, torque, top speed, handling. Oh, great, now he's talking about economic problems. What do you know about economic problems? Yeah, everyone does have problems.
So, yeah.
Yeah, man, right?
You haven't been listening, player.
The car's dope, Rocky.
Ah, here we go, something about the car.
Yeah, I thought about it. I had to see what the comp was looking like first, though, you know?
He can race, though.
Let's see if you live up to the hype.
Oh, that I can do.
Why us?
That's funny, because from what I see...
Wait, how does he know about the whole Yaz thing? Like, does he have, like, an informant or something? What?
Oh, the stuff about
what is this?
Look, it's complicated.
It's always complicated.
Seriously, how does he know? Real winners channel that shit and perform with me. You haven't been competing, mate.
Yo, you did that shit. That was mad.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate.
That goal about to look real good on you.
I mean, the car was pretty good. Yep, we had to do the best. We wouldn't have gotten the gold time otherwise.
So, what got you into it?
Well, I'm speaking to the youth. You know, I'm speaking to the youth and I'm speaking to people.
Yeah, I know you're speaking to the youth in different backgrounds. Like,
same thing, which is struggle.
Yeah, I mean, we do struggle. What kind of words of encouragement do you want?
People where I come from who have a lot of capabilities.
Yes, that's the same with everyone.
We never really exercise.
What do you mean we don't exercise those tools? Isn't that what jobs are for? What are these situations that you're talking about? Trying to live up to a what facade? What are we trying to live up to? Other people's expectations. Okay, now he's gone on to always strive and prosper. Creating your own path to your own destiny, but not going rogue and not giving up. I mean,
it's always about the encouragement.
It's always about the encouragement. I'm not really sure. Can you just talk about the car, please, mate?
You must have put in a lot of work over these years.
About the car?
Hard work is key.
Yeah, hard work is key.
Man, you know,
like, it's a fact of life, and not...
It's about
okay, look, I get that this is important and all, but
as a collective,
what has this got to do with Need for Speed? Can we have something about the car, please?
Well, ASAP
means always strive and prosper. It's not what you think, it's not as soon as possible. Well, there's a lot of variations as to what it could be.
Put a spin on something that
Put a positive spin on a spin on something.
But for us,
I missed that.
It's everything but fast.
Everything but fast.
More positive perspective.
And it was
some form of encouragement.
Could you please just talk about the Mercedes, mate?
Prosperity.
The Mercedes? No.
The young brothers.
Nothing about the Mercedes at all.
We wanted to run with that. We needed something to look forward to.
Why did they bring him in if he wasn't going to talk about the car? I mean, you're driving around in a custom Mercedes that can do, what, 230 miles an hour, and you're not going to talk about it?
I want people to know that, especially about me.
Everyone has insecurities and obstacles, Rocky. You're not alone in this. That doesn't make you unique.
Ambitions, and I have failures, just like
I'm bored with this. I'm done.
All of us.
Are we done yet?
The part about life is waking up to be able to accomplish it again. And do
we
better.
done?
And that's it.
Okay, he's nearly done.
No, I just want to encourage people that
you're sharing.
Or is sharing a struggle, even trying
Can
to
you get to the point quicker, mate?
I just want to give them that ambition, man. Some words of encouragement.
Always strive, always prosper.
Always prosper, man.
Bloody hell, that was a lot to take in, wasn't it? Oh, so, where do I begin with that? Well, this clearly felt like Rocky was having a conversation with somebody completely different to our player character, and they just edited it hoping nobody would notice. But I do notice things because I am a critic and it is my job to dish out faults and errors wherever I see them. Not that I'm getting paid for it. When you have a celebrity appear in a video game, you want them to have a basic understanding of what kind of game they're dealing with. Hell, if they're a fan of the subject matter, then that's great. There's a reason why Jeremy Clarkson appearing in the Auto Vista section of Forza Motorsport 4 is still cherished by racing game fans like myself to this day. Because he cares about cars. Hell, it was his day job to test the best vehicles out there. And he got the sense that he wanted to be there in the recording booth. He wanted to wax lyrical gold over the script and give it his own touch. Say what you will about Clarkson, you may not like him for who he is and the opinions he has, but Forza's decision to have him in the first place indicates that developer Turn 10 really understood their audience. I wish they still did. Hell, in Need for Speed 2015, you got the sense from the main characters you hung out with that they respected their dream icons, and when we finally got the chance to see them and meet them, it didn't feel like a forced cameo, but rather a natural build-up with a payoff that felt earned. Do I wish these icons had been in the game for longer? Maybe, but they're not throwaway fan service at the end of the day, and to see them in their natural environments surrounded by beautifully crafted rides feels more natural. I just don't get that with Rocky Unbound. He's not involved with the world of cars day to day. I mean, I think he has a deal with Mercedes, but that's not the same as having a day job that directly involves cars, is it? No, I think the reason he was included was because EA's shareholders thought, what's popular right now? Rap? Hip-hop? Maybe Need for Speed should get someone who specializes in that to appear in the next entry. How about Tyler, the Creator? Who the hell is he? He's a rapper and a car guy. If we ask nicely, we could put some of his cars in the next game and design a new one in collaboration with him. How many followers does he have on social media? 15 million, I think. Right, we're gonna go with ASAP Rocky. He's got more followers, plus he's in a relationship with Rihanna. Does he have a nice car collection? Not that we know of. So why go with him? Because we need to follow the trend, right? There is something else I want to mention. Something that I don't think has been raised before regarding Need for Speed Unbound, but from my perspective, it's something which I believed harmed the game's overall commercial success. So here I go. In April 2022, ASAP Rocky was arrested in Los Angeles after returning from vacation with Rihanna. This was because of an incident that took place the previous November, where one of his former collaborators, a guy called ASAP Relly, fell victim to a shooting incident. Thankfully, Relly wasn't badly injured, and after bail was set at $500,000, Rocky was released. However, detectives then got a warrant to search his home, and although they didn't find anything, the CCTV footage of the incident in question identified Rocky as being present at the time, and potentially holding a gun. So on August the 15th, 2022, the LA County District officers filed charges. The reason I bring this up, not just because this matter was resolved last month, is because those charges were filed less than 2 months before Need for Speed Unbound was revealed, with the release date of December the 2nd, 2022. Now, considering that the last few entries in the Need for Speed series have been released around the 4th quarter of the year, this might not seem unusual. But considering that Need for Speed is a AAA game franchise, EA's decision to reveal it just 2 months before release rather than, say, announce it in June, like the last few entries were, begs the question, did EA deliberately delay the game's reveal and limit the marketing because of this incident? Well, there's no way of knowing for sure. I don't have any evidence to prove this theory true, and I don't want it to be misinterpreted. Unless EA really didn't have any confidence in Need for Speed Unbound and the team at Criterion, it just doesn't make sense that they wouldn't unveil it until just 2 months before launch and not promote it at all. So, after this, we don't see Rocky again until week 4, where we race him in his Mercedes. And win. Because he's not a very good driver. Then, after the game finishes and you think it's all done,
Street racing. Started in the street, right? So it's street.
oh, so this was an interview after all. Well, let's listen to it and see what Rocky's got to say. Maybe he'll talk about the game and his involvement with it and his favourite cars and whatever, you know. Anything salvageable from this train wreck of an ending.
The car culture is really like essentially a street in hip-hop culture.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Rocky's statement doesn't have some validity to it. Hell, if you go back 10, even 20 years or so, you look at music videos which are based around hip-hop and rap, more often than not you'll see a fancy car in the background with some pretty ladies. The problem is, though, car culture slash hip-hop slash street music and all that, they're not as intertwined as EA and Criterion would like you to believe. And I think Need for Speed deciding to move away from car culture in favour of targeting a new demographic isn't really a good idea. I mean, you could argue that the last few entries, like Payback and Heat, they didn't really lean into the car culture side of things, certainly not as much as 2015. And I think the reason they're doing that is because, you know, the majority of younger audiences out there, they simply do not care about car culture. But, like, is the Need for Speed audience not big enough for you, Criterion? EA? Like, you've sold 150 million copies. There is still an audience for, you know, really focused car culture out there. But hey, I guess if it means appealing to those who are on TikTok more often, then so be it.
We from, you know, every time there's always an organization of guys from the urban community getting together, we labeled as a gang or some type of terrorist party or something like that. You know, we just wanted to do something positive. We're not saints, but at the same time, we're not cold-blooded sinners. And
for those of you who don't know what Rocky is talking about, allow me to explain. Rocky is a member of the ASAP Mob, which is an American hip-hop collective that was established in 2006. Whilst he wasn't one of the founding members, Rocky did join shortly after the group was established. There's around 13 current members at the moment, with around 10 that were formerly part of the group, some of whom have now died. Considering that the group is based in Harlem, which is a district in New York City, which to this day is considered one of the more violent areas of the city and is often correlated with high concentrations of poverty, illegal activities such as robbery, prostitution, trafficking of drugs, and it's an area where there are a lot of criminal organizations and street gangs who are responsible for murders and shootings. And considering that the gangsters in Harlem have a strong link to both rap, R&B, and hip-hop culture, not just in the city, but the entire United States, and the fact that a lot of rappers in the music industry came from gangs in Harlem, like the ASAP Mob, yeah, they don't strike me as a group that's going to have an image that will, you know, appeal to everyone. And when you consider that some of their former members have died in, well, you can read it for yourself and weep.
nowadays, TikTok is what every artist has to appeal to.
Who cares?
I'm not going to bother playing you any more of Rocky's interview. It's available on YouTube for you to go and watch if you're really interested. What I want to ask is, why him? Out of the 8 billion people on this planet, what reason did EA and Criterion give for including him? Well, the answer lies somewhere within an IGN article published in October 2022. As for how Criterion came to work with ASAP Rocky, Criterion says that the rapper's brand fits well with the feeling the studio is trying to convey with Need for Speed Unbound. I mean, ASAP's kind of a trendsetter in both fashion and music, and he's also a bit of a rebel, and that is kind of part of the Need for Speed vibe. So it totally made sense to put him in the game and have a game mode that represented what he was about, and also give a cool event for players to play as well. That's where you're wrong, Criterion. ASAP Rocky isn't a trendsetter or a rebel. He's just another rapper in a long, long line of wannabes who, you know, somehow managed to get famous and, you know, he's happily engaged and he's got kids and I have nothing against him, but, like, he was not the right choice. You should have got someone who was more invested in the world of cars. If not Tyler, the Creator, which wouldn't exactly have been the worst option, then get someone like Ken Block or, you know, Travis Pastrana, okay? They're better suited to a Need for Speed game, alright? Not ASAP Rocky. And I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but that's just how I feel. I'm passionate about Need for Speed, I'm passionate about cars, and with all due respect to anyone listening out there, anyone who's watched this video thus far, car culture is kind of nerdy, alright? It's a niche, a nerd niche, and, you know, it's something that should be protected. Not something that should go mainstream, you know? So just stay niche. Otherwise, if it goes mainstream, then it kind of loses all value, if I'm being honest. Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush, okay? I'm not going to try beating a horse that may be dead, okay? If you're a fan of this direction that Need for Speed has taken and you don't mind A$AP Rocky being in the game, you think he adds something to it, then that's great, more power to you. But I just don't think he was the right choice, okay? It feels like this decision was taken not to appease Need for Speed fans, but to try and stay, relevant with the times. But as I said a few videos ago, agendas change, and if you don't keep up, then you'll be left behind, you'll feel outdated, and you won't be relevant anymore. Oh, and one last thing. Here's a little glitch/bug that I discovered whilst I was making this video.
The car culture is really like essentially a street and hip hop culture.
You done fucked it up!